Sir.
Yes. You're listening to the Uncensored Truth podcast with Brother Old God and Sam, man. Everybody watching on any platform that you're watching on, make sure you go and hit that like button, share the video, and make sure you comment on all the content that we will be uploading. Also, you can look at the Uncensored playlist for all the full podcast, and we will be uploading this to SoundCloud, real soon. So look forward to that. Yeah, man, it's a lot of things going on. We know Kanye West's interview was actually trending #1.
Yeah, man.
On at first on YouTube.
Yeah,
now
man.
It slipped a little bit. It got over almost like 10 million views now. So it's moving.
It's crazy.
And it's a lot of talking points. A lot of people attacking Kanye West. Man. First and foremost, man, I want to just defer this to you real quick. What was your first thought? Because we have two different things here. We have one Kanye West in the middle of TMZ screaming, going back and forth with another black dude. And then we got the other Kanye West sitting down with Charlemagne and really kind of just being chill. That's him. You know what I mean? And just pouring out his heart and talking about Jay-Z and all different types of situations. What was your first initial thought when you seen this Kanye West incident? In particular, let's talk about the when he wore the hat. Let's talk about that first. The whole Trump thing when he came out with the hat. What was your first initial thoughts when you seen that?
The first initial thought was he's a clown. He's clowning. Like you a clown for that.
I hear you.
That's typical Kanye West clownish shit. Let's get the attention drawn back to me. We all know how polarizing Trump was. We all know how hate-driven campaign he ran, and how he won off of a hate-driven campaign, which in a sense Kanye almost respected because he just used the energy, whatever kind of energy it was, and he swayed it in his direction. So just using that law in power, him putting that hat on, automatically he knew he would get the kind of reaction that he would get. I mean, if his album sales are going to be off the hook, I don't care what anybody says. In the day, people are going to buy all of his music that he put out. That's why he threw that out there first before all of this attention. Every day people are talking about Kanye. Now, the context in which he's speaking, my first reaction, like I said, he was a clown. And then when you start just stripping it down and really listening to what he's saying, I understand what he's saying, and you can see the laws that are being manipulated. But like we alluded to in our pre-production meeting, you got to be careful in all the information that you give people, because not everyone is ready to receive the information or can properly take in the information the way they need to, or the way you're trying to display it. And the way you're coming off in your speech is going to be hard for a lot of people that are polarized one way or another to understand what you're really breaking down. That's just a basic general synopsis of what I have to say. Let's dig deeper into it. But what's your take on Kanye right now?
Well, the New York Post had an excellent article where they kind of broke it down, some of his statements. There's a long 2 videos out there now, with this information. But Kanye West went on to talk about racism, and he wrote in his rap, I got this rap that says parents are the strippers, strip they kids of confidence, teach white dominance, question your common sense. I've been washed in tradition. Now I'm a rinse, hopped off the Amistad, and I'm a god. So when you look at that, and my whole summation of everything that happened, you're looking at first and foremost a genius, and a Gemini like me. Me and Kanye are both Gemini. So people always, even in both interviews, you kind of seen 2 different. You know what I mean? That's kind of how we are with the whole, the thing, the polarities, whatever you call it, the shit I talk about. But, Kanye, man, he's just, a case of a black man growing up in America. I think he's normal. I think he's just like us. I don't think he's crazy. I think, we're going to get to the comment about slavery, about the racism aspect. He goes on to say here, I'm going to read a little bit more before I go. He says, because they talked about the $20 bill with Harriet Tubman. He put, was the moment that when Harriet Tubman was on the $20 bill was the moment that I wanted to use Bitcoin. It's like when they see all the slave movies, we got to keep reminding us about slavery. Why don't they show us Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan on the $20 bill? I'm going to say Michael Jordan. So, Kanye West is more woke than we think. He's more woke than we think. And you're gonna have, not everybody, you just got to face it. Because you see, if you look all over the internet now, you see everybody with all these different perceptions of, what Kanye said. Everybody is not going to be thinking on that frequency. And the first person I think that, ironically, was the guy at TMZ who jumped up. I can't remember the brother's name right now, but when Kanye was at TMZ and he was making a point saying that he was addicted to opioids. you know, which is, you know, everybody knows is prescription painkillers, which is an epidemic in rap. That's a whole another thing. This dude jumps up. Kanye West is in there making a point, whether you like it or not. He's making a point. And what's the point that he's making? Kanye is trying to get the message to us, trying to get the message to people, black, white, whatever, is that we have to stop caring about what people think and be free thinkers. Not only free thinkers, but to think outside the box. So Kanye West is trying to actually get us to stop living in the prison of our mind first, because everything is mental. And when you finally, and everybody doesn't, some people get to this point in certain parts of their life. Some people never get to this point. When you finally start letting go of the chains of your mind is when you begin to be free. So just to jump over to the slavery comment, where I think he kind of slipped up and said that 400 years of slavery, he said it's a choice. Now, a lot of people took that out of context. A lot of people automatically thought that he was going all the way in, like, damn, like these slaves they were just choosing to be enslaved and put in slavery and put in chains and beat. We all know the story. But then he kind of backtracked and talked about the mental. Right now, we have a situation in America, and they talk about racism. I think is an issue that has to be put on the table. And I'm glad to see more celebrities, stars, you know, actors, athletes, whatever, you know, putting this issue on the table, because it's the issue that's been swept under the rug. So when you see somebody like Kanye, you know, put the message out there, some people are going to get it, some people are not. But I think that Kanye West, matter of fact, I know that Kanye West is accurate in his assessments of what he's talking about, and only how you can really know it if you do it. And once you start to see that, nothing can hold you back, that you can't put limitations on this, and you could do what you want to do no matter what. As you see him starting from where he started in Chicago, now, you know, he talked about $1 billion clothing company, you know, platinum records, top records, everything. You know what I mean? This is what he's evolving to. Now he's even talking about going to be the president. So you could do what you want to do when you put your mind to it. I think that's what Kanye's trying to get the people who are on that frequency to wake up and see that ultimately, is what I think.
Right. And I mean, when he made the comment of 400 years we were a slave and that was choice, the first thing that jumped to mind was, like we said, in many of slave movies, you see that main house nigga. He's sitting there shaving boss, you know what I mean? And he has this straight razor in his hand, could easily slit his throat, with like the snap of his fingers, but he wouldn't dare do it. He wouldn't dare do it. And you hear stories about slaves, once they were freed, they didn't know what to do with themselves because they were prison, often like a prisoner. They're in prison for so long. Once they get out of jail, they're so programmed to be within the confines of that system. They don't know what to do or how to be free. And I think a lot of us are manipulated under that mindset of not knowing what freedom really tastes and smells like and what it really is, because we're living in a society now where there's nothing more than the evolution and a modernization of slavery right now. When you look at hoods, when you look at the way we live, our school system, the way that's manufactured, or how we eat, and the various restaurants and stores we have in the society in which we live, nothing's really healthy. Diabetes, kidney disease, all the major ailments that go on within our society and why that happens, that's a direct link to how we eat and how we live. So you know the statistics are just outstanding, and how it's staggering how it's against us. And free mind and free thought may not hurt a lot of us at the end of the day. And we have to really come to that conclusion, because you have a lot of people out here, stars, really going at Kanye, going at him hard. Yeah. And okay, maybe it's deservedly so in a clowning manner, but when you do it and you're the forefront in destroying his name, not white people, but black people, what does that say for us too? Let's not really dive into it and really dissect what he's saying and come to him personally, because you see the Snoop Doggs, you see the 50s, and 50's a clown. He trolls, so I'm gonna leave him out. But Snoop Dogg in particular, you have Kanye's number. You can hit Kanye up and go, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro? If you really felt the way you do, but you use your platform to bash, to put out there the image that he's an Uncle Tom, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, you're not even trying to have the power of a real conversation with this brother to dig into what he's really trying to do. Shout out to T.I. for going to his crib and really listening to the man and trying to listen to what he was doing. And then he ended up making a record out of it, a damn dope album at that. We need more dialogue and more conversation. And I think Kanye West, no matter what his method is bringing that to the forefront. That conversation needs to be happening. The comment on Harriet Tubman, I don't know how that was perceived. That was the first time that I heard it, but it just makes me go, damn, he does have a point. You put Harriet Tubman on there, revolutionist, strong black woman. No one's denying that, but you put her on the back of Andrew Jackson, 7th president of the United States, one of the biggest slave owners in the history of America. What does that say? You feel me? What does that really say? You're not giving her freedom. You still have her controlled at the end of the day. And I think Kanye's just trying to bring up these conversations. No matter his method, we need to strip it down and listen. But it goes back to my original premise. Not everyone is ready to receive this information and digest it in the way he's trying to give it. And he has to stop forcing it and try to force feeding it on people, because he's going to see nothing more than backlash. And the energy that he is trying to portray, you're going to let other people go in there and manipulate that. So if I had any advice to Kanye, and I mean, who am I? He ain't got to fucking listen. Right. But I would just kind of tuck off and kind of stay within your bag. Let that shit come out through your music, and don't let people have the room to give their criticisms and have the backlash that they have right now.
Right. And you know, to speak to the Snoop Dogg point, and I want to also speak on the whole Daz Dillinger, you know, thing about putting the Crips on them. You got to touch on that. But to speak to, you know, you talk about Snoop, you know, to me it's a little hypocritical, Snoop, you know, to be coming at Kanye and calling him, I think he called him a coon and stuff like that.
He hit him with everything.
No, what was Snoop, you know, when he was making all that gangster music, man? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, you know, at the end of the day, I understand that we all go through our progression in life. And at one point I was one way, now I'm a different way. Now I understand that. But again, we can't be going at each other like that. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna talk about us coming up, we can't be destroying each other in the media like that, man. And we can talk and tell the truth, but like you said, he should have hit that brother, you know what I mean, on the side and said, yo, this is what it is. But look, for him to go ahead and throw all that out there like that, you just adding to more of the problem, man. And then you got the other side of the white people who love to see that. They love to sit back and then monetize that. Them going at each other and say, look at these two cats going, you know, at each other's throat. So if there is going to be, excuse me, you know, a conversation that's being ruined at this point, because they're gonna say, man, we not, you know, this is some crazy. They going at each other. Yeah, man. So it's just like, you know, this is something that we don't see from other people. We don't really see them throwing each other on the bus like that. So we got to have some, you know, decorum about the way we kind of deal with each other, I think. Yeah, like you said, Daz Dillinger, you know what I mean? We all know California, you know what I mean, run with the set he run with at the end of the day, you feel me? He tried to call arms to Kanye and had people put hands on Kanye at the end of the day. And when I seen it, I'm like, damn, like it reminded me of what Meek Mill said when he came to the Trick Daddy. Ain't nobody trying to put hands on Zimmerman, no. You call Kanye West because he puts on a red hat and endorses Trump and says some things that if you really break them down, he may have some fucking points. You want to put harm on this brother because of that? What does that really say? And what kind of image are you painting for everyone out there, the consumer? And we all know who really consumes it. And the image that you're painting, what does that say for us? Did Kanye really do whatever you agree with or disagree with? Did he really do anything that egregious to have hands put on him? Really? Like, come on, man, that's getting out of bounds. But like I said, Zimmerman walks free. Tamir Rice's killer walks free. The list goes on and on of lives that's been taken at the hands of other hands, that being predominantly white men to black body. And no one's out here calling arms or calling Crips or calling Bloods or calling anybody to go take arms on that. But Kanye throws on the motherfucking Trump hat and maybe says some things that you don't understand. And now he has to go. That's a little much for me, man. I'm sorry. It just highlights, you know, I think the mental illness, you know, in America. I ain't gonna say this in our community. That's still, you know, in America, man. We got a lot of stuff to deal with at the end of the day. Facts. You know, but yeah, you know, shout out to Kanye, man. Keep doing your thing, because I could see through, despite of all what I could see through, you know, what the bigger, you know, point in the message is. You know, you got people attacking this man on all different angles, man. It's just not cool. Yeah, I mean, we have fun with Kanye. It's funny to joke. He does say that the way he distributes it is funny, and it's funny to joke on. But like you said, when you strip it down for the essence of which is really being distributed, he's saying some truthful shit, and we really just got to get his due to break. And I don't know if he even wants a break. It might just be falling right into his hands, because Pusha T's coming out, Tiana Taylor's coming out, Kid Cudi's coming out, his own album's coming out, his album with Kid Cudi coming out, and we all know Nas is coming out with the production of Kanye West. So Kanye West is out here winning, man. I don't think he's really worried about it too crazy. He's going to get his attention the way he gets it, and we are just going to consume it the way we consume it. Here at the Uncensored Truth Podcast, saying, man, oh God, viral hip hop news Uncensored, right here on Friday night.